proudly presents... Hey, guys! That's more like it! We proudly present Grand Coulee Dam. It sure is grand! Hiya, folks! I'm Billy... Hi! Billy Beaver's the name. We have a great show ahead that will help explain how grand the Grand Coulee Dam is. But first, we're going to show you some of our favorite things about the dam. Because who knows more about dams than a beaver? Of course, we beavers don't make our dams out of concrete. We use sticks. Speaking of which, this here, and top there, and ta-da! A custom-made beaver dam? Whoops! Doesn't seem quite right. But do you know why Grand Coulee Dam is even here? It's here so everybody can see us doing our show. But the dam has other uses too. The water in Lake Roosevelt is used to grow food. And the water also generates electricity. Ta-da! I was thinking of something maybe a little flashier. Come on, let's dance. All right. Woohoo! That's it. Yeah. We can also have fun with all that water. Like water skiing. Fishing! Uh-oh! And, paddle boating. And swimming, too. There we go. There are all sorts of recreation uses with it. A wild walleye! Now, what was that we were saying? Oh, right! Grand Coulee Dam. It sure is grand. What? Oh yeah. We've got to get going. The main show is about ready to start. Thanks everybody. See you next time.
The Bureau of Reclamation and Bonneville Power Administration proudly present One River, Many Voices.
we look around this beautiful and rugged landscape to the Columbia River below, we wonder, what is the story of this ever-changing river, flowing past us now and yet always returning in an eternal cycle? If we listen closely, we will see how we are all a part of this story. A story woven from many voices.
Grandmother, please tell me the story again.
The story of Grant Cooley. Of course I can tell you again. Now listen carefully. Over time, some of the most spectacular natural forces in the world shaped the place we now call Grand Coulee. Lava flows built many layers of basalt, covering the inland northwest. Several ice ages come and go. With warming, a number of lakes form and burst through ice dams, which then reform with each cooling cycle. Then, about 12,000 years ago, the last of these major floods unleashes the 2,000 square mile Lake Missoula for the last time. A massive flow of water races down the Columbia River, shaping Grand Coulee as we see it today.
with skin rock chin passing by the coulee and so white the spring in the riverbed.
Ancestors of the Confederated Tribes of the Colville Reservation and the Spokane Tribe of Indians living along the Columbia River used many resources. Each season offers a diversity of plants and wildlife, providing food, clothing, shelter, and medicine. Most significant to the Columbia Basin cultures is the salmon. This source of food and spiritual sustenance is often described in stories, like the one told by Colville tribal elder Tom Louie.
Itumpula, Isil, Snakshu. That was my Indian name. My white given name is Tom Louie. We're known as the Snakshit, the noisy water people, as they call us today, Snipe people. Right up the Kittle Falls. Kittle Falls was the gathering place for the people back when the animals were the people. The two-leggeds wasn't even heard of. Coyote, he was quite a trickster. He's the one that communicated with the Great Spirit. He would communicate with Coyote, and Coyote would come down and he would share what was going to happen. While Coyote was communicating with the Great Spirit, that one day the Great Spirit said, "There's going to be two-leggeds walking among you. So you're going to have to find out how you can take care of them." All we have in this river is just bottom portion. The three sisters way down there at Celilo, they've got all the salmon. And the three sisters were seagull, kingfish, and snipe. That was the three sisters that held the salmon captive. And we need somebody to go down there and free them salmon. You have to be very careful. You have to have some good power. The three sisters down there in Kittiwah. And he said, "I'll go." Kettle Falls, we brought the salmon.
The massive Kettle Falls of the Columbia River, along with Little Falls on the Spokane River, become two of the most important fisheries for salmon, steelhead, and lamprey eel in this region, allowing the Colville and Spokane tribes to flourish in these ancestral homelands.
Grandpa used to go up the Little Falls and catch fish horseback. And grandmother said salmon was so big it'll be dragging the ground.
It was the way of life of our people, our understanding. It goes back to the teaching of our belief system.
Wow, Grandmother, I want to hear what happens next.
Very well. So this way of life went on for some time. Then, contact with European explorers and missionaries begins to alter the human landscape. Settlers seeking a better way of life find plentiful land, yet many hardships lie ahead.
My two great uncles were the first of four brothers who would come here in 1882. They were immigrants from Canada, and their family had been in Scotland a generation before that. Archie would write, I took up 160 acres of land. Of course, I am not a deed yet, but I am a Yankee all the same. Well, the Yankee chose land over by Grand Coulee, which can look quite lush and green in the spring, but severe later in the year. That endeavor failed. The McGregors ended up in the sheep business. You could work in the sheep business, exchanging your labor for a third of the lamb crop that would be produced, and it was a place for people to make a start.
Sheep, cattle, fruit orchards, and other crops form the basis for farming along the river from the late 1800s. Farmers throughout the West prosper for a time, but arid conditions more typical to the region return. Congress and President Teddy Roosevelt fear that economic development in the arid West will languish without sustainable water supplies, and the Bureau of Reclamation is created in 1902. Reclamation's role becomes even more critical after the stock market crash of 1929 and then the Dust Bowl of the 1930s. The effects of the Great Depression uproot thousands. Newly elected President Franklin Delano Roosevelt forms the New Deal, designed to put Americans back to work. One of these massive public works projects is Grand Coulee Dam, designed to bring much-needed irrigation to arid farmlands. Grand Coulee will be built and operated by the Bureau of Reclamation. Many unemployed workers stream to Grand Coulee when they hear about this project.
People were pouring in from all over the country. We don't realize today what a real depression is like when 25% of the people are out of work and people are virtually starving. The Dust Bowl was on and people were coming out of the Midwest with virtually nothing but the clothes on their back. It was a desperate time, and Roosevelt saw that as an opportunity to put men to work.
I have just visited much of the work that the national government is doing to stop